the son of my paternal uncle, were both born on one and the same day, and years and days rolled on, and as we grew up, I used to visit my uncle every now and then and to spend a certain number of months with him. Now my cousin and I were sworn friends, for he ever entreated me with exceeding kindness. He killed for me the fattest sheep and strained the best of his wines, and we enjoyed long conversing and carousing. One day, when the wine had gotten the better of us, the son of my uncle said to me, "O my cousin, I have a great service to ask of thee, and I desire that thou stay me not in whatso I desire to do." And I replied, "With glee and goodly will." Then he made me swear the most binding oaths and left me. But after a little while he returned, leading a lady veiled and richly apparelled with ornaments worth a large sum of money. Presently he turned to me, the woman being still behind him, and said, "Take this lady with thee, and go before me to such a burial ground," describing it, so that I knew the place, "and enter with her into such a tomb, and there await my coming." The oaths I swore to him made me keep silence, and suffered me not to oppose him, so I led the woman to the cemetery, and both I and she took our seats in the tomb. And hardly had we sat down when in came my uncle's son with a bowl of water, a bag of mortar, and a tool somewhat like a hoe. He went straight to the tomb in the midst of the area, and breaking it open with the tool, set the stones on one side. Then he fell to digging into the earth of the tomb till he came upon a large iron plate, the size of a wicket door. And on raising it there appeared below it a staircase, vaulted and winding. Then he turned to the lady and said to her, "Come now, and take thy final choice." She at once went down by the staircase and disappeared. Then quoth he to me, "O son of my uncle, by way of completing thy kindness, when I shall have descended into this place, restore the trapdoor to where it was, and heap back the earth upon it as it lay before, and then of thy great goodness mix this unslaked slime which is in the bag with this water which is in the bowl, and after building up the stones, plaster the outside, so that none looking upon it shall say, This is a new opening in an old tomb. For a whole year have I worked at this place, whereof none knoweth but Allah, and this is the need I have of thee." Presently adding, "May Allah never bereave thy friends of thee, nor make them desolate by thine absence, O son of my uncle, O my dear cousin." And he went down the stairs and disappeared forever. When he was lost to sight, I replaced the iron plate and did all his bidding till the tomb became as it was before, and I worked almost unconsciously, for my head was heated with wine. Returning to the palace of my uncle, I was told that he had gone forth a sporting and hunting, so I slept that night without seeing him, and when the morning dawned, I remembered the scenes of the past evening and what happened between me and my cousin. I repented of having obeyed him. When penitence was of no avail, I still thought, however, that it was a dream. So I fell to asking for the son of my uncle, but there was none to answer me concerning him. And I went out to the graveyard and the tombs, and sought for the tomb under which he was, but could not find it, and I ceased not wandering about from tomb to tomb, all without success, till night set in. So I returned to the city, yet I could neither eat nor drink, my thoughts being engrossed with my cousin, for that I knew not what was to become of him. And I grieved with exceeding grief, and passed another sorrowful night watching until the morning. Then went I a second time to the Sorely repenting, my hearkening to him went round among all the tombs, but could not find the tomb I sought. I mourned over the past, and remained in my mourning 7 days, seeking the place and ever missing the path. Then my torture of scruples grew upon me, till I well nigh went mad, and I found no way to dispel my grief save travel and return to my father. So I set out and journeyed homeward. But as I was entering my father's capital, a crowd of rioters sprang upon me and pinioned me. I wondered thereat with all wonderment, seeing that I was the son of the Sultan, and these men were my father's subjects, and amongst them were some of my own slaves. A great fear fell upon me, and I said to my soul, would heaven I knew what hath happened to my father. I questioned those that bound me of the cause of their doing, but they returned me no answer. However, after a while, one of them said to me that he had been a hired servant of our house. Fortune hath been false to thy father, his troops betrayed him, and the wazir who slew him now reigneth in his stead. And we lay in wait to seize thee by the bidding of him. I was well nigh distraught and felt ready to faint on hearing of my father's death, when they carried me off and placed me in the presence of the usurper. Now between me and him there was an olden grudge, the cause of which was this. I was fond of shooting with the stone bow, and it befell one day, as I was standing on the terrace roof of the palace, that a bird lighted on the top of the wazir's house when he happened to be there. I shot at the bird and missed the mark, and I hit the wazir's eye and knocked it out as fate and fortune decreed. Even so saith the poet, we tread the path where fate hath led, the path of fate writ we fain must tread, and man in one land doomed to die, death nowhere else shall do him dead. And on likewise saith another, let fortune have her wanton way, take heart and all her words obey. No joy nor mourn at anything, for all things pass and no things stay. Now when I knocked out the wazir's eye, he could not say a single word, for that my father was king of the city. But he hated me ever after, and dire was the grudge thus caused between us twain. So when I was set before him and bound and pinioned, he straightway gave orders for me to be beheaded. I asked, for what crime wilt thou put me to death? Whereupon he answered, what crime is greater than this? Pointing the while to the place where his eye had been. Quoth I, this I did by accident, not of malice prepense. And quoth he, if thou didst it by accident, I will do thee like by thee with intention. Then cried he, bring him forward. And they brought me up to him, when he thrust his finger into my left eye and gouged it out. Whereupon I became one-eyed, as ye see me. Then he bade bind me hand and foot, and put me into a chest, and said to the sorter, take charge of this fellow, and go off with him to the wastelands about the city. Then draw thy scimitar, and slay him, and leave him to feed the beasts and the birds. So the headsman fared forth with me, and when he was in the midst of the desert, he took me out of the chest, and I with both hands pinioned, and both feet fettered, and was about to bandage my eyes before striking off my head. But I wept with exceeding weeping, until I made him weep with me, and looking at him, I began to recite